Good day, everyone. We will discuss the media evolution timeline presented by Group 2, Subject MIL, Lesson 2. Before we proceed to our discussion, let us first define what is media. Media refers to any form of communication that delivers information. Common media outlets include newspapers, radio, televisions, magazines, and internet sources like blogs or online publications. The term media, which is the plural of medium, refers to the communication channels through which we disseminate news, music, movies, education, promotional messages, and other data. Here are the 4 evolution timeline of media. These include pre-industrial age, industrial age, electronic age, and information age. Pre-industrial age. Painted drawings on cave walls or ceilings, mainly of prehistoric origin, dated to some 40,000 years ago, or around 38,000 BCE in Eurasia. The pre-industrial age refers to the period before the advent of modern mass media technologies. It encompasses the time before the Industrial Revolution and the subsequent developments in communication and media technologies that revolutionized the way information was disseminated. Industrial Age. This is how technology alters the usability of information for members of society. This involves various machines such as printers and digital tools. Together, such equipment can assist people in producing and processing media information. Electronic Age, also referred to as Electronic Age or Electronic Media, includes media that require users to make use of electronics to access content. Information Age is a historical period that began in the mid-20th century. It is characterized by a rapid shift from traditional industries as established during the Industrial Revolution to an economy centered on information technology.
The printing press is a device that allows for the mass production of uniform printed matter, mainly text in the form of books, pamphlets, and newspaper. It is created in China. The printing press revolutionized society, therefore being further developed in Europe in 15th century by Johannes Gutenberg and his invention of Gutenberg press. In 1690, Benjamin Harris inconvenienced the Boston authorities by publishing the colonized first newspaper. There had been one-page broadsides printed earlier, but Harris' public appearance looked and read like a newspaper. It was 4 pages long and the publisher promised an issue every month.
In 1876, United States Telephone. Scottish-born Alexander Graham Bell is credited with inventing the telephone and was granted a U.S. patent in 1877 to 1878. The first telephone line was constructed, the first switchboard was created, and the first telephone exchange was in operation. 3 years later, almost 49,000 telephones were in use. 1877, the United States Recording Thomas Edison invented the first machine that captured sound, recorded it, and then played it back to listeners.
1906 United States commercial-grade radio. In 1906, Canadian-born physicist Reginald Fessenden sent the first long-distance transmission of human voice and music from his station in Massachusetts. By the end of the 1930s, 80% of American families had radios in their home. The commercial-grade radio is sent by Reginald Fessenden, who is a Canadian-born, and he sent the first long-distance transmission, mahabang distansya ng human voice at music sa station niya sa Massachusetts. At the end of 1930s, 80% of American families ay merong mga grade radio sa kanilang bahay. Dito naman sa Pilipinas, atin madalas ito makikita sa mga security guard, police, or army dahil ito ang ginagamit nila para magkaroon ng komunikasyon sa mga malalayong lugar or malayo ang distansya.
1927, United States releases a television by Philo Taylor Farnsworth. He created the first electronic television. However, television did not become mainstay in family homes in the U.S. until 1950s. Because television's dissector camera tube transmitted in its part image in that is only a straight line. Mainframe computer known as the Harvard Mark I, the first mainframe computer, weighed 5 tons and filled an entire room. In year 1943 in United States, this computer used primarily by large organizations for critical applications like bulk data and processing for tasks.
1975 United States personal computers. The first personal computers were developed in 1975 by a small firm named MITS. It was known as the Altair. The Apple II came out in 1977. Ang unang first personal computers ay na-develop noong 1975 na isang small firm na ang tawag ay Micro-Instrumentation and Telemetry Systems o mas kilala ang Altair, at ang Apple II naman ay lumabas noong 1977. From the word itself, personal. Personal computers ay para sa ating personal lamang at makikita ito sa ating kwarto o ating mga kabahayan na ikaw lamang ang makaka-access at makakagamit. 1983 United States mobile phone. The first mobile phone call was made in 1973 by a former Motorola inventor, Martin Cooper. He is known as the father of the cell phone. The first cell phones went on sale in the US in 1983. Ang unang first mobile phone ay nagawa noong 1973 ni Martin Cooper. Also, siya rin ang gumawa ng Motorola, and he is known as the father of the cell phone. At noong 1983, ito ang unang taon kung saan nag-sale ang cellphone. Ating makikita sa picture na ang cellphone na to ay madalas natin nakikita sa mga tindahan na binibenta bilang laruan. Pero hindi nila alam kung ano talaga saan ito talaga nagmula at ano ito. Dahil nga sa ngayon, ang ating mga cellphone ay touchscreen na at malalaki at hindi na ditupi at wala na ring antena.
1990 United States World Wide Web. In 1990, computer scientist Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web. Today, the web is the most common means of accessing data online through websites and hyperlinks. Tim Berners-Lee is a British computer scientist who invented the World Wide Web. Ang World Wide Web ay originally conceived and developed para ma-meet ang demand for automated information sharing between scientists in universities and institutes around the world. The basic idea of the World Wide Web was to merge the evolving technologies of computers, data networks, and hypertext into a powerful and easy-to-use global information system. But, napansin ni Sir Tim na sila ay nahihirapang i-share yung information ng mas mabilis sa isa't isa, kung kaya humanap siya ng solution at na-realize niyang they could share information by exploiting an emerging technology called hypertext. This is where Tim Berners wrote his first proposal for the World Wide Web in March 1989, together with the Belgian systems engineer Robert Caillois. This was formalized as a management proposal in November 1990. Tim Berners-Lee wrote the first proposal for the World Wide Web in March 1989, together with the system engineer Robert Caillois. This was formalized as a management proposal in November 1990. This outlined the principal concepts and it defined important terms behind the web. The document described a hypertext project called World Wide Web, in which a web of hypertext documents could be viewed by browsers. While his second proposal is in May 1990. By October of 1990, Tim had written the three fundamental technologies that remain the foundation of today's web. The HTML, which means Hypertext Markup Language, the markup formatting language for the web. URI, or also known as URL, Uniform Resource Identifier, which also common today as URL, used to identify to each resource on the web. And lastly, the HTTP, which also known as Hypertext Transfer Protocol, that allows the retrieval of linked resources from across the web.